Hello, I'm back. So, yeah, it looks like I may well have lost internet connection. I am currently trying to get back in game. So my voice is broadcasting on our stream, although yours isn't, Matt. I will get you up and running as soon as I've got connection to the game. No, my game will not connect at all, so I'm going to close that down totally. Give that another go. So, if you are on Twitch, apologies for that. It would appear that my internet crapped out. Just trying to load the game back up again right now, because it wouldn't find any servers at all. Did I miss anything, Matt? I was desperately asking whether whether the game had disconnected or whether I had. But then, as you didn't answer me, I kind of figured that it was me. Yeah. Okay, so I think we are getting back into game right now. Okay, so there we go. So we are back online. Apologies to that. I just need to reconnect all of my timing. There we go.
What we have got now, the gap out from about 23 seconds now between P1 and P2. So after the 10-second success penalty, 13-second gap that will be. A very healthy lead at this stage.
Yes, that's going to do them well, because I do know, as you said, Matt, they're eager for a win, having reached P1 in the championship without one so far.
The pit is now open.
So, as you might have just heard, pit window is now open. So we're 55 minutes into the race, so the pit window is open for 10 minutes.
Be interesting to see now who blinks first. Now, I would expect anyone that's carrying a bit of damage at this point would maybe think about pitting early. We shall see. So Rainer Athens started going past the pits here, so obviously not opting to take that early pit stop. Next up behind them, Mark Jones, also opting against the early stop.
As is Alessandro Murgia.
Yep. Got a yellow flag for Rhino Sullivan there. Not quite sure what happened there. Oh, over Skyline. Was it?
It was just the briefest of yellow flags, so I kind of figured it was just a running off. Or
coming out of the S is quite a heavy contact with the inside wall, followed by the outside wall.
Okay, so yeah, we might see Rhino Sullivan coming in then for a pit stop. However, as Damien's in chat with us, leaving his teammate to do all the running himself, he certainly won't be doing a driver swap. Oh, and didn't stop for chase either.
No, I think there was a bit of an issue there under braking. Just the car moving to the right under braking, and then taking out those brake markers down into the chase, which is always lovely when those brake markers aren't there.
Yeah, and particularly so when it's night time.
Yeah, so yeah, as expected, Rhino Sullivan into the pits here.
We'll jump on board just a little off with our race leader, Tom Venters.
Yeah, not really seen too much of them. I've just been running comfortably out in the lead. As Luca Murray has pitted behind them, so they'll maybe be hoping they can get a bit of an undercut. But that gap, I think, big enough that Tom Venters not having to worry too much about that.
But what it might do, obviously, is help them stay ahead of Dan Johnson, who was fairly close in what was P3, is now P2. And as you've said, I think a number of times, that Porsche can sometimes be a little rough on its tyres. So maybe just getting in there and just getting some new boots. Also, obviously, we're going to be kind of getting light at some point, so maybe a tweak in pressures as well. Obviously, when the weather's colder, you'll need slightly higher pressures than when it's warmer. And with this being in Australia, it does get quite warm, just not when it's dark. So still only Ryan O'Sullivan and Luca Murray in the pits.
Yeah, what sort of time do you think Sunrise will be in this race? So we're at 4:16 a.m. local time in Australia at the minute.
Just remind me, have we got a 2 times multiplier on this race?
We have, yes.
So I think sun up is about 5 o'clock. I think.
Okay. So about another 40 minutes. So about 20 minutes in game time then.
Yeah, I think, and obviously every time I've noticed that, I'm driving, and as the sun comes up, the last thing I'm doing is looking at in-game time. But yeah, I think it's around about 5. It is pretty early. Obviously, with you being on a mountain, you catch the sun quite early.
Well, and Southern Hemisphere as well. Obviously, summertime for them at the minute as well.
Now, I don't think that's modelled in-game, but that would be quite good. If your hours of sunlight were based on the actual day of the year you're racing.
I don't know that they're on a specific day, but I think they are based on seasons.
Okay.
I believe. I could be wrong, but I believe they are.
So we've got Alessandro Murgia just about to overtake Mark Jones, who's come into the pits bang on halfway through the race. So that was a great stint by Mark Jones. Didn't see any real issues from them.
And we've got a yellow flag for Oscar Miazza.
I'm just
this is
coming over Skyline. Oh,
lives in the rear over Skyline.
so have so they've just pitted, haven't they? So cold tyres coming out, maybe a little bit too hot, as in driving.
Yeah, cold tyres, cold driver. Maybe he's had to sit for an hour waiting to get in the car.
Now, what they should have been doing, Matt, is listen to our commentary, 'cause I'm pretty sure we talked about that a little while ago.
We did, yeah. There's Mark Jones in the pits now as well. I don't know if you already said that.
I did indeed.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good stop. So, racing partner, is it Christian Jones again with him?
No, Diego Cozzolino.
Diego, our young Italian, turned up once again. Excellent. You'll remember Diego. He's the one I was really polite about on chat constantly for the first few races.
He was the one you told me likes pineapple on pizza, right?
He absolutely, in fact, he claims to have invented it, even though he's only about 12. He claims to have invented pineapple on pizza, yeah. So clearly a good quality Italian. Again, I'm only joking. I take the piss out of Diego because he asked me to help him with practice for one of the races and then didn't turn up to his own practice session.
Mm-hmm.
Which obviously I'm going to let him forget about at some point. So we've got Dan Johnson in the pits as well now. As well as Rainer Athenstad. I don't think we'd called him coming into the pits.
No. So Rainer in the pits as well. Obviously got that 15-second success penalty to take from the last race. would expect to probably see Tom in this time around. I don't think there'll be time for another lap after this one.
Whereabouts is he? So he's just on the way up the hill now. So no.
Just coming down Conrad Straight.
Oh, okay.
Down towards the chase.
So he probably could, because he's lapping in the 202s.
It's gonna be mighty close.
Yeah, I would not risk it at all, not for the sake of another lap. One little issue, you've got yourself a rather hefty penalty, so yeah, I would expect to see him coming in. And in he is indeed coming. So this is our race leader into the pits for, they hope, their only stop. Driver change, probably get some new boots on there, touch of fuel, well, quite a lot of fuel actually, and on their way, and they will probably be out in P1 as well.
Yeah, I believe so. That we 23 seconds to gap, so even with their 10-second success penalty from the previous race, should still be comfortably in the lead.
Also, Diego has got out in front of Rainer Athenstadt into P3 through those pit stops.
Yep, so I believe it just updated on my screen. It's Morten Buren in that number 11 Big Brain Racing Lamborghini now.
So that was they've done very well in the pit stops. Were they in P5, I think, weren't they? Obviously, that car number 11 had the 10-second time penalty.
Yep.
And Peter Ackeray in the Ferrari finds himself in P2 at the moment.
Yep, I think this could be an interesting second stint for the final podium positions. I think as Tom Venter's just leaving the pits now, or Darren Jones will be in that car now, but just leaving the pits now. Healthy gap to Peter Ackeray in P2. Currently shown on my screen as 36 seconds.
Yep, shows that on my screen as well.
So big gain through the pit stop phase, even with that 10-second success penalty there.
Yeah, but what we have got is a very fast Lamborghini in the hands of the Buren from Big Brain Racing. Currently 0.7 of a second from the back of Diego Cosolino. So I would expect to see this number 11 car come moving through the field relatively quickly. It's just that the cars are quite spaced out at this point in the race.
Yeah, so even if Morton can get past Diego here fairly quickly, he's still then got a 20-second gap to catch up to Peter Ackeray there in the number 23 Ferrari as well. So. Like I say, quite spaced out, and obviously that 15-second success penalty that the number 11 car had from the previous race, helping to move them back down the field there in the pit stop, which is exactly what it's supposed to do.
Yes, exactly. I'm a little bit confused as how the lead car of Darren Jones has extended the lead quite so much during that period.
Well, I think it's because the 306 car, the EOS Esports Porsche there, now driven by Oscar Miazza, we obviously saw them had a little bit of a crash after coming out of the pits. So I think they would have been in P2 if it wasn't for that. We got a yellow flag there for Diego.
Yeah, we were right on board with Morton just behind as he. So we saw Diego hurtle into the wall. That is going to be costly. The car is destroyed.
Be a repair job, yeah.
Yeah, he cannot steer it off the wall. Ouch. Yeah, he's going to do very well to get that. Yeah, he can't even keep it on the track at sort of 5 miles an hour. Bad luck, Diego, but again, it kind of looks like maybe trying to get up to pace too quickly before the tyres are there, before you're there as a driver.
Potentially, and obviously the pressure of Morten Buren there behind him as well. It's always difficult when you have another car behind you that's quick and you're trying to get up to pace and get the tyres in the right range and everything. Always very tricky at that point.
It is. Do you want to know my way of dealing with that, Matt? Turn the mirrors off. Just race ahead of you. Your radar will come on if they try and get past you. But yeah, I try and just ignore all mirrors. Do my own race. It's as you said, it's very easy to very easy to get distracted.
Yep, certainly can be. Certainly can be.
Did you like the way I got totally distracted while I was saying the word distracted then?
Yeah.
All of my timing screens went blank, but I've got them back again. It's all good.
Keeping an eye on Diego Cozzolino here. It's looking like he still is trying to get back to the pits, but I think he may have...
He's met a wall.
Stuck on a wall now.
Yeah.
So yeah, return to garage, unfortunately, after that.
Yeah.
So interestingly, now that Morton de Boeren's in free air, he is closing that gap down to Peter Ackeret. It's come down from 20 seconds to just under 17 seconds already. So at this pace, he's definitely going to catch Peter and catch him fairly quickly.
Excuse me. Yeah, I think Peter had a minor off on the last lap as well,
Okay.
which accounts for a big chunk of the time, I think. He's certainly showing as a red lap.
Yeah, much better lap this time around.
Yeah. So I think he lost 2 seconds somewhere.
Let's see what Morton's lap time is when he comes. He's just coming around the final corner now. Yeah, still a big gain there on that lap though. Still another 2.5 seconds.
Yeah. So he's definitely going to be bringing that gap down. Although he's got 17 seconds to bring back, so it's still a lot of work to do. But it certainly looks like he's got the tools to do it. So just looking back, we've got Raymond Camps in P4. Last lap was a 2:06. Don't forget, those slightly more experienced at the mountain will be going out slower. Taking a couple of laps to build their pace up. So I'd expect to see Ray pick his pace up over the next couple of laps. Oh, wow, I've just looked at the gap that Darren Jones has got in P1. 45 seconds now.
It's comfortable.
Yeah, it's comfortable.
It's comfortable. Morton de Boeren, the fastest man on track at the minute, but obviously even further back. It's about a minute back from the lead, so that's a big ask to catch up in 49 minutes.
That's right. So with laps taking about 2 minutes a lap, you can take your 49 minutes, divide that by 2, which is 25 laps. You'd need to be 3 seconds a lap quicker. Is my maths any good there? I think that's about right. 3 seconds a lap quicker.
About 2.5, 3 seconds, which I don't think is looking likely at the minute. But as we have seen a lot already tonight, anything can happen in terms of incidents and back markers getting in the way when you're not expecting them. So still, as much as it's a comfortable gap out in front, I know they won't be relaxing too much. This track can bite you if you do relax too much. Yeah,
100% it can. So just looking, so the leader's last lap was a 2:02.8, and Peter Ackeret in P2's last lap time was a 2:06 dead, and Morton de Boeren in the P3 was a 2:02.5, so 0.3 of a second faster than P1, and 3.5 seconds faster than Peter Ackeret ahead of him. So it certainly looks like they'll be driving themselves into a P2, all things being well for that team. Relatively quickly, actually, with a 3.5 second delta.
And you obviously know Peter. With how fast Morton's catching him, do you think he will defend that position hard when Morton gets there, or will he be quite happy to settle into that P3 slot behind?
You're asking me the question about the person that took me out on the last race, on our league race. No, to be fair, Peter, he won't try and do anything silly. He will make a nuisance of himself, but I think he'll understand that he's got a much quicker car behind him. And my guess would be, if he gets a move put on him, he'll let him go, but he'll make himself much of a nuisance as possible before then.
We've got a yellow flag for Raymond Camps just at the bottom of the S's. So just losing the rear end coming over Skyline, and that could be quite a large amount of damage there again on that car, unfortunately.
Yeah. So now raising the car. You know, I called him out for my best car of the race. I did that because he hates this track. He hates this track with a passion. And every time we get a little bit drunk in an open lobby, I want to end up here, and he never wants to end up at this track. So I thought I'd give him a little boost in confidence. Unfortunately, it didn't happen on that lap. Didn't help him out. But he's a good guy. He's Ray. Just looking, the gap between P2 and P3 now, just 10 seconds.
Yep.
Last lap was a 3-second delta in the favour of the Lamborghini in P3. So that'll be 3 laps and there'll be nose to tail. So we'll keep an eye on that.
That's how it's looking at the minute. Just noticing down towards the back of the field, Raymond Camps coming into the pits there after that incident there with the wall. So obviously too much damage to continue. So we're going to have to get that repaired. Diego Cozzolino still in the pits getting repaired from earlier. Ryan O'Sullivan getting past him courtesy of still running out on track. He is still 40 seconds behind the BMW of Davide Baldo in that number 46 car. But yeah, like you say, Morton de Borin catching up to Peter Eckerai very quickly. That gap now at 7.5 seconds. So another 2-3 laps. I think they'll be nose to tail. I know it'll be interesting to see if Peter does have anything in defence against a car that's catching it 2.5-3 seconds a lap.
And kind of as we were saying with the blue flags, if they meet each other at the start of the mountain, it's going to be very difficult for anybody to make a pass, and that often is enough just to kind of throw you off your pace. You're almost better catching them kind of at the corner on the run down to the hill, so you don't lose any time. You don't get your front tyres too hot by sliding around in the dirty air. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see them. We've just seen them both in the same camera shot just then for the first time. Gap down now to 5.5 seconds. So yeah, 2 laps I think. And in fact the gap, the difference in lap time last time around was 4 seconds. So yeah, it could be the end of this lap. So we'll stick on board. Take you through a lap off the mountain. So Matt, what car do you tend to drive around here? We obviously talked about the GT4 and you are in love with the Alpine. What about your GT3 pick?
I mean, at a minute, I'm probably running the McLaren 720 Evo more than anything. Yep. So that's a decent car around here. But I'm also doing a league on a Tuesday now where they're using custom BOP. In that league, I'm in the Ferrari 488 because it has very favourable BOP, which tomorrow night's race is at COTA, so I'm starting to regret that decision a little bit, but I think that's just COTA. That's just COTA for me. Yeah,
just take your sleeping bag and some hot chocolate and have a little snooze as you're driving around.
Yeah. Yeah, there's the two I'm driving at the minute. Driving the Lamborghini next weekend at Silverstone in a 24-hour race as well. So I switch cars a lot at the minute. But yeah, I think round if it was a one-off race around Bathurst, I'd probably be taking the McLaren, the 720 Evo.
Yeah, that's my car of choice here as well. I still prefer the old 720. It's just not up to pace around here anymore, unfortunately. Cozzolino's still in the pits. I can't imagine all of that is for repairs. So I wonder whether they've just decided to pull over. Because they seem to have been in there now for 6 or so minutes. I think it's been about 3 laps, hasn't it? Maybe a touch longer.
I think so, yeah. Interesting to see if they get going again.
Yeah. Maybe they've beaten my record of 6.5 minutes damage. That'd be impressive. So here we go. We're still on board with the Lamborghini of Morten the Buren. Now just half a second from the back of Peter Akare in the pseudo Ferrari. Caught him on the mountain. Caught him at Skyline actually. We can see the sky just starting to brighten up actually. So this will be interesting. So it looks like very cleverly Morten the Buren is just holding back, just looking to get this corner right, which he really looks like he's done. I think this will be over come the chase. What are your thoughts, Matt?
It's looking that way at the minute, isn't it? We know that Ferrari has good straight line speed, but I think with how close Morten is here in the slipstream, side by side through the first part of the chase there isn't always easy. It does look like, a little bit of contact, but yeah, I think.
Oh, and so Morten goes wide in the chase, just outbrakes himself just a touch.
Yeah, I think that little bit of contact there helped him to outbrake himself.
I was switching cameras at the time, so I didn't see the contact. What happened, Matt? What happened?
Yeah, a little bit as they came through the right-hander at the start of the chase, the fast kink. With Peter being on the outside, it gets very bumpy over there, and I think as he's tried to come back to the racing line, a little bit of contact in the rear of Morten the Buren, just as he was getting into the braking zone. So
okay, yeah, that certainly would help you outbrake yourself, having a little shove from the rear, and not in a good way.
Yeah, Morten now staying in behind again as they go up and over the mountain. With the pace advantage that he has, you would think by the time they get down the other side, he'll be right on the back of that Ferrari again.
Yep, I agree. Just had a quick look at Twitch again. Damien was approving of one of the crashes that we saw online. I'd imagine that was probably Diego Cozzolino's as he flipped into the wall at high speed and did a 360 in the air. I'm guessing that was Damien's approval. That's very often. In fact, that's not how I often see Damien crash. He's normally buried himself into an inside wall somewhere. But yes, it was a good crash, wasn't it, Damien? So already that Lamborghini has found the rear of the Ferrari. The fight for P2, just 0.3 seconds from each other at the moment. So thundering down the hill. So this is where they had contact just a little while ago. Morten just backing off a touch. Maybe he's going to go for a run through the chase.
Yeah, I think with how long's left in the race and the gap to the lead car, they'll just be sussing out where exactly he's quicker and where exactly he can, or where exactly he wants to make the move.
Well, I think the answer to the first question is everywhere. Answer to the second one is where's he going to be able to get more than half a car alongside, I guess. It's somewhere that's not a very fast flick of the steering wheel. I would have thought up into this corner that we're coming up to now, turn 2. would be a good opportunity. I don't think it's close enough on this lap.
No, and sitting behind again as I go over the mountain. But yeah, no pressure from behind for these two either. They got back to Oscar Musa in P4, 38 seconds behind these two here. So they really are in a race of their own for P2 and 3 at the minute.
So up through Bull's Corner. I don't care what you call it, Matt. It's definitely called Bull's Corner. Through to the fast. Couple of left-handers here. I love these corners in the McLaren because you can generally keep them just totally flat. Little lift into that one. Through Skyline. Now you're on the drop downhill section. Touch the brakes, down a gear. Touch the brakes, down a gear. Turn into this left-hander ridiculously early. Get on the power nice and early. This corner scares the hell out of me. Braking downhill, there's a little lump in the road halfway through.
Yeah, and if you're a bit of steering angle, and as you start braking in there, it can really upset the car and just throw you into the wall as well.
Yeah. And then that very important corner onto this back straight. I'll jump back on board again with the Lamborghini. Not close enough, I don't think, this turn, but again, maybe coming into the final corner, he could go for a move. Get on the gas nice and early here, which he has done. Don't think they're going to be close enough into the final corner, but could be setting it up beautifully between T1 and T2. Damien just confirming that was the accident we were talking about, as Diego crashed into the wall, who's also now fortunately dropped out of the race. So, good exit here. And I don't think it's going to be enough to get alongside. But I think this would probably be Morton's best place to overtake. Stick it up the inside here if he can, and just let Peter run out wide. But it's not to be on this lap. So he's going to be stuck behind him again, I think all the way across the mountain. As you said, Matt, realistically, he's got the rest of the race to get this position, because he's not going to get any other positions, barring accidents, obviously. So you might as well take your time. Secure this place
definitely,
without getting yourself any extra damage.
35 minutes still remaining. There's no need to make a dive anywhere. There's plenty of time.
Very often or not, you stick this close to a car in front, they're going to feel the pressure somewhere. They're going to look in the rearview mirror just at the wrong moment, miss a turning point, and hammer into the wall. So just sticking behind somebody sometimes is a good attacking manoeuvre here.
Well, sometimes though, if you are this close behind a car and they have a crash in front of you, it can be very difficult to avoid it as the following car as well.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, Martin a little bit closer this time around as they come down the Conrad straight.
Is he going to try it again into the chase though? It didn't work out so well last time. He's hanging back a touch. Maybe it'll
I
just
think
be.
This is where he needs to. He just drops back a little bit too much into the first part of it. Needs to stay a little bit closer through the right hand kink, and then try and win out on the brakes into the left hander.
Peter going quite narrow there, so he could be able to get a run through here. Again, if he can nail the exit of T1 here, get a good run. No, had to come off the accelerator kind of mid-apex there. So I think another minute and a half behind Peter here. But still another 34 minutes to go, so plenty of time just yet. No, Damien, you are right. Diego did indeed have a massive shunt into the wall. Caused himself probably rivaling my 6.5 minutes worth of damage. Sat in the pits for quite a while, and then logged out, I think. So Morton here, just 0.2 of a second behind Peter. But there's not a lot you can do with that extra speed down here. I thought for a second he was going to go alongside into Skyline, but that would be a very risky move.
Yeah, that's a last lap kind of move, not a 32 minutes remaining kind of move.
Yeah, agreed. So again, not close enough, I don't think, to be challenging down here. I think this is quite an experienced drive here from Morton, just either waiting for Peter to make a mistake and then he's going to nip through, or really waiting until he's got a real sure thing of an overtake, because he's quite clearly quicker.
He's close this time, they're coming out of the chase.
He is. Peter just... I did say he was going to make himself be awkward, didn't I? He's going to make a nuisance of himself.
Yep.
So if Morton could get a really good run then through T1. Peter going quite tight.
It's as close as they've been coming up the mountain straight.
Yeah, he's got a good run now. So Peter needs to stay over to the right-hand side. There's no way you're going to be getting around on the outside of this corner. Oh, but he hasn't done. Oh! It's a touch late, I think, that move, but he remains ahead for another lap. It's I think it's a matter of when, though, not if.
It certainly looks that way.
I certainly wouldn't like to be defending this hard for what, 45 minutes. I think they'll have going forward to. So I think they've been going about 50 minutes already, haven't they? Yeah, I would not be looking forward to that prospect.
Still waiting for that sunrise as well. 5:17 a.m. local time now.
Yeah, we can see. Well, we can see the sky lining up, but yeah, it's obviously not
Could
quite
be
on 5 o'clock.
Could
What
be
I
the
thought.
last few laps here. Could be quite interesting with the sun. So Martin's got a good run here, coming out of out onto the Conrad Straight. Moves to the inside. I think just ducking it out of the slipstream there to stay. He just drops too much time through the through that right kink. When if he gets too close early on the straight, he finds it difficult to follow closely through that kink. Got a good run now down into the final corner again.
I think he's probably a little bit wary of the contact they had on the first overtaking attempt.
Yeah, I think so.
And you have contact there, and he was lucky just to run a touch wide. It could very easily be at that speed a trip across the gravel straight into the wall. So now we are down to 7 cars left in this race from the 11 that started. High attrition rate, but it's very unforgiving, this circuit. So both of these drivers, both Morton the Burin in the big brain Lamborghini and Peter Ackroyd in the pseudo Ferrari, doing great, both pressure and being pressured.
Now what we've got now that's quite interesting as well is these two cars have got a back marker a little way ahead of them, and they've got Rhino Sullivan, another back marker, catching up behind them. So could back markers play a part in this as well?
Well, yeah, so back markers are totally entitled to unlap themselves, although, you know, Morton can't find a way past Peter at the moment, so it's unlikely that a back marker is going to be finding a way past Morton. But certainly, as they catch a back marker, depending on when they catch them, it could be enough to.
Just dropping it there on the exit of the dipper. Got a little bit too excited on the throttle there, and the rear end just coming round.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Couldn't possibly have been that dirty air that we were talking about earlier, Matt. Just pushed him a little wider than he was expecting.
I think he was in his efforts to get a real good exit, just got on that throttle a little bit too early, and like you say, probably a combination of that and the dirty air as well, just sending him a little bit wider than he was expecting.
So now he's dropped behind the other. Oh, look at that, Matt. That's a shot for your team photograph.
It's a good shot there, isn't it?
Yep. Yep. Coming over the start-finish line here in the very early morning light. Looked certainly one for the photo album. Matt, I need to step away just for about a minute. Bear with me.
No problem. So Ryan O'Sullivan now ahead of Morton Burin. Ryan is 3 laps down on Morton, so if he doesn't manage to get away and catch up to Peter Eckeray, he'll let Morton back through, I'm sure. A little kiss on the wall there, but manages to get away with that one. A little bit wide there from Ryan. Just about managing to stay ahead at the minute. But yeah, the gap now between Morton Burin and Peter Eckeray, 3.5 seconds. So this is costing Morton a little bit.
Okay, I'm back. Thank you for
No
that.
problem.
So we've still got the two Big Brain Racing Lamborghinis running line astern. Unfortunately not on the same lap. So what lap times did we do? So they've not completed a lap yet since Morton made that mistake, but we're coming across the line now, so we'll see relative lap time to Peter in P2. Only 2/10 quicker.
Yeah.
So
I think he's struggling a little bit with the other Lamborghini ahead of him there, that last lap. I think he a couple of little mistakes from Ryan going over the mountain cost both of them a bit of time there.
if you need a minute to make a team boss call, Matt, you're more than welcome to.
These guys know what to do.
Yeah, you've given them their orders already.
They know what to do.
Nicely dodged. But still only 2.8 seconds. Obviously there's the back marker of Ryan O'Sullivan in between them at the moment, but definitely the closest battle on track at the moment. To give you some idea, Darren Jones is coming up to a minute and a half ahead of Peter Eckeray in P2. Obviously you can see the gap between P3 and P2. That's down now to 1.7 seconds actually.
1.7 seconds with the back marker in between as well, so all three of these cars running very close together on track.
So that's the gap up front to Peter Eckeray. We're on board with Ryan O'Sullivan, and that's the gap behind to Morton Burin. So yeah, the gap's now 1 second for all of those three cars. Looking back to P4, there is a 32-second gap to Oscar Miaza in the Porsche. Raymond Camps is a lap down in P5. A further lap down is Baldo in the BMW. And then a further lap down from there is Ryan O'Sullivan, who is this meat in the sandwich. What a great sandwich it is as well.
Yep. So I believe Ryan's on the same lap as Davide Baldo, which is why he's
yes, he is. Sorry,
why
yeah.
he's quite desperately trying to get past the Ferrari of Peter Eckeray here.
He's looking up the inside, flashing some lights. I wouldn't count on Peter giving you that space. Oh, so that's the move I was talking about that Morton should do. Oh, and Morton, by the looks of it, is taking
Alongside here.
Yep.
One side as they go up the map. Oh yeah, just sensibly backing out of that one there, I think. Two cars into the mountain don't really go.
But yeah, the move that Ryan just pulled on Peter is the move that I was suggesting that Morton should do.
Yes. I also think Peter maybe wouldn't have given the same amount of room to Morton as what he did to Ryan there.
No, that's very true. Letting a backmarker pass. Although it's nice to have a backmarker behind you and the person that's chasing you.
True, but also the last thing you want is the backmarker running into you because you're fighting hard to keep them behind, and then the other car still gets past you anyway.
Another good point.
So always a bit of a balancing act. Does look like Morton's in the slipstream again here though. Maybe a little bit too far back to make a move into the chase.
So I was just reading Twitch chat. Tatch, who is Mark Jones, who was racing a little bit earlier on. Apparently I've said something that was the title of my own sex tape. Tatch, pop in chat what I said. I've got no idea what I said, but I always like a good title of your sex tape joke. So, 0.5 of a second. Starting lap 47.
Yep. Yeah. Well, this will be about 48, I think. So they've completed 47 laps.
So you can see that gap.
Morton definitely looking closer here, but yeah, Peter going defensive early, and then realising that Morton's not close enough. Obviously, the damage on that car from Morton now is going to make this move a little bit even more difficult than what it was before. But still does seem to have the pace advantage over Peter Ackroyd. And that sky definitely getting a lot lighter now as well. So we should see sunrise before the end of this race, you would think.
Yeah, catching right up on top of the hill, but really nowhere to do that.
Yeah, not seen many successful overtakes over the top of the hills, over the top of the mountain. The ones you do see look very impressive, but more often than not it ends in tears.
Interestingly, one of my favourite overtaking places on the mountain is on the outside of T4, the tight hairpin. If you catch a slower car, we got a yellow flag coming out for Raymond Camps. So having a quick look on board with him, what happened. So he's coming across the top. Oh yeah, just coming up to Skyline, just running wide on that fast left-hander. No damage. That's going to be enough to have woken him up though.
We've got a good run now from Morton going down towards the final corner. He's on the outside though. Just starting to back out of it, but now should get a better run out of that final corner.
Yeah, so just 0.2, 0.3 of a second between them. If you can get a really good run here, this is where we keep talking about. And he seems to have done that. We'll jump on board with him now.
Yep, he is right in the slipstream.
A touch far back, I think, though.
Possibly.
We really need to be within sort of 0.2, I think, coming out of that first corner.
Yeah, that Ferrari getting a good exit out of the corners that really matter. A little bit slower over the mountain, but really getting good exits out of the 2 or 3 corners that really matter, and that's preventing Morton from being able to make this overtake.
Yeah, coping with the pressure very well there, I think Peter is. He's doing a good job. And yeah, that damage, I think, to Morton's car really costing him. But still, 18 minutes left. They've been going at this hammer and tongues now for about 25 minutes or so.
Pretty much since the pit stop, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and you can see the sky now getting much brighter.
Looks like Morton's got a really good exit here. 0.2 of a second as they come out of the dipper.
He has shied away though, hasn't he, from overtaking into that fast right-hand kink after that contact that they had.
Yeah, I think he might have to do it at some point now. But that seems to be at the minute. But yeah, he's moves out of the slipstream.
Just run it. He's lost the rear, unfortunately, going into the chase, which I think he'd have had a good chance there, maybe into the last corner, but yeah, losing the rear has cost him 0.3 of a second. So yeah, half a second. So yeah, he's going to be certainly behind him for most of this lap. Matt, I just don't think Morton's really wants to commit too much into that fast right-hander, because it really could end in tears if they collect each other.
I think still with 16 and a half minutes just over remaining in this race. Peter running a little bit wide there and clipping the wall as well into the cutting. But yeah, with 16 minutes left in this race, there's still no need to force the move. I don't think. I think there's plenty of time. I know obviously Peter's done a great job so far withstanding the pressure, but there still is plenty of time for that potential mistake to come or for an opening to present itself. There's no need to necessarily force it at this point. I think if we get to the last sort of 5-6 minutes, I think you might see him start being a little bit more aggressive through that right-hander into the chase.
Yeah, very true. So 0.3 of a second behind now. So again, he's going to be tucked up right behind him into that fast right-hander. But this is where we saw the contact, where we've seen Morton be reticent to get alongside again, which he's not doing here, although he has kept it a lot closer this lap by the looks of it. Peter doing enough.
Great exit out of the chase there.
Yeah.
The Ferrari just does have good pace. I say it gets a good exit out of the corners that really matter.
That's right. So just stick here now. Stick nice and close. That's it. Push Peter into the corner nice and early. Right, this is the opportunity. This is the opportunity. So he's alongside. Oh, no, he's not. So he's right behind. So what Peter needs to do now is stick to the right-hand side like glue, which he is doing. Oh, here we go.
A bit wide there from Peter.
So they're
I think that's let Morton through.
Yeah, it has indeed.
Morton's through there. So yeah, a little bit. That was kind of set up by Morton coming out of the last corner. I think every corner after that, Peter a little bit offline, kind of forced there by Morton, and eventually that pressure paying off. Peter running a little bit wide into quarry, and just allowing Morton through and up into P2.
Yeah, so well done Pete for withholding that kind of pressure for so long, but yeah, really
good defence there. When you've got a car behind us caught you up at 2.5-3 seconds a lap, to keep them behind for that long is a great job.
But a great example of being patient by Morton as well.
Yeah.
So I think you'll probably find that Morton now scampers away relatively quickly. He's not going to be catching the 3/4 of a lap that he is behind Darren Jones. So the delta to Darren is 1 minute 44. Obviously, all this time he's been stuck behind Peter. He's been dropping further back. But a solid second place, I think, barring any issues from any of the drivers.
Yeah, I think so. One gap to keep an eye on. You've got Ryan O'Sullivan now 11 seconds back behind Davide Baldo. I think he might run out of time. Obviously, Well, and he does have that 130-second penalty as well, so it might all be a little bit in vain. But I know Ryan will want to, if he can, he'll want to catch him and make that move on track.
We've also got Raymond Camps just 3 seconds from Oscar Misa in the Porsche. Oh no, they're they're on the same lap. I always get a little bit confused when one of them's gone across the line and the other one hasn't.
No, I think they are a lap apart.
Ah, yes they are. Yeah. So in which case, I think, yeah, the Ryan O'Sullivan battle is going to be the only one that hots up. But yeah, 10 seconds behind, 12 seconds, and he was only 0.3. No, 1.3 seconds faster last lap.
Yeah, I think he might run out of time, barring any mistakes from Baldo.
So where have we got? Yeah. So Peter now, after being overtaken by Morton in the big brain race in Lamborghini, has dropped 4.5 seconds already. So it just shows how much Peter was managing to hold off Morton. So yeah, great defending. I certainly wouldn't have wanted that in my rearview mirror. But Morton, yeah, barring any issues, is clearly going to get a second step of the podium. So well done. And I think that's the only real track action that we've got at the moment.
Yeah, it's all a little bit spread out at the minute.
We're not going to get one of these amazing sunrises either. It looks like quite cloudy out there at the moment in Australia. So we've got, obviously, at the moment, I don't think the track temperature's really changed that much at this precise moment. But we're obviously going to be coming towards the end of the stint, 50 minutes on these tyres. Certainly for those cars that have been pushing hard or staying close behind somebody else, the threat of slipping off the track because of worn tyres is always never too far away. It's unlikely something that Darren Jones is going to be too much worried about, as he's not had any pressure at all during his stint. So I'd imagine his tyres are in fairly good shape.
And I think I was just going to say the only other thing is, obviously these guys have now been in the car for getting close to an hour in this second stint, so concentration can start to come into it a bit as well.
Yep, that's very true. A 20-minute race around this track can feel quite long, can't it, sometimes, Matt?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So Peter dropped back now 7 seconds, but he's still 26 seconds ahead of P4. I think Baldo just put in his personal best lap in the BMW at 2:04.145. And to give you some idea, that was 0.3 of a second, I think, slower than Ryan O'Sullivan behind him. He's still 10 seconds behind though, so I think that the chance for that battle, I think, is probably been and gone with only 8 3/4 minutes left on the clock. So
again, barring any mistakes, which again can always happen around this track.
So we're just going to work our way up. Watching the cars now, it's a little bit brighter. Oh, as Baldo clips the wall on one of the fast left-handers over the mountain. It's the first opportunity we've really had to have a look at their liveries. Camera angle's not the best on this track either. with such short runoff areas. On board with Baldo in the BMW. We jump forward ahead to P5. Raymond Camps in the pseudo Lamborghini. A solid race for Ray, not without incident, but then again, most stints don't go perfectly smoothly over the mountain. Unless, of course, you're Tom Venters and Darren Jones, who I don't think we've seen put a foot wrong. Have we, Matt? I think all race?
No, I don't really remember even seeing them have a brief yellow flag or anything, to be honest. It's been, seems to have been pretty smooth sailing out in front for them.
I think as we're on board with Raymond, I think he's struggling with either concentration or tyres, because he's had 2 rubs of a wall and taken the one escape road that is on the mountain. Maybe he's had a bit of contact earlier that's not that steering out of alignment, because the car doesn't seem to be behaving all that good. We'll jump forward now then to the Porsche of Oscar Misa. Really good race for the Porsche, actually. I didn't really fancy the Porsche's chances much on this track, but he's seems to have been handling himself pretty well.
Yeah, I think other than the one little incident we saw after the pit stop, other than that, it's been a good race for the 306 car there.
Yeah, solid race. I mean, to be fair, they've seen. Let me find some words, and I'll start again. They're putting some really good performances, I think, throughout the entire races. We've seen a few issues with the tyres towards the end of the stints, but really solid performances all the way through. And I am genuinely impressed with the P4 on the mountain for the Porsche. It's not always its strongest track. It's good over the mountain, but normally suffers quite a lot up and down the hill. So a solid performance from them.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. One thing you would say, the Porsche probably one of the stronger cars going over the top of the mountain, so maybe they found a nice balance on that setup, that they don't lose too much time over the top of the mountain compared to what that car can do, and then don't lose too much time on the straights either. So always going to be a little bit of a compromise setup, I think, for the Porsche around here.
Yep, very true. I'm just going to be updating my spreadsheet just so I can get some ideas of points. And my drop of internet seems to have caused my spreadsheet a few issues. Just bear with me a touch. So just 3 minutes 50 now from the end of the race. Everything is looking fairly static. The gap from Ryan O'Sullivan, he's got that down at 6 seconds. That's a decent attempt.
Yeah, you'll be able to see him as he goes down the straight, but yeah, probably a little bit too far back to be able to do anything about it before the end of the race.
So, just having a quick look at the scores. So, should things end as they are here, Darren Jones and Tom Venters, car 84 in the Pseudo Racing Lamborghini, who's currently in P1, should finish the season out with 262 points. And second place will be picked up by car number 11, which is Morton de Buren, and I can't remember the second driver. Matt, please help me out.
Rainer Attenstadt.
Thank you very much. In the Big Brain Racing Lamborghini, car number 11, they will be in P2 with 216 points. So a race win ahead in the end, but it's all came down to the last race, which is brilliant. I'll tell you what, we should probably jump on board with the race leaders. They're going to have another lap after this one, I would imagine.
Yep, I think there'll be one more. Unless they just slow down and wait, but...
Yeah, that's got crash written all over it, hasn't it, if you slow down somewhere. So, yeah, watching Darren Jones then bring the car home, presumably on the penultimate lap. Matt, what do you think the highlights have been in the season? What have you enjoyed the most?
Good question. You caught me off guard a little bit there.
That was the plan.
I think what's really caught me off guard is just how good some of the racing's been. There's been all the way through the field. I know today hasn't necessarily been the best example of it, but I think that's part of the nature of this track a little bit. It can kind of spread the field out a bit. But a lot of the other races we've had good battles going on all the way through the field for a lot of the race. So I think that's been really good, and obviously a shame that the SGSS racing guys couldn't be here tonight, but they've made the racing very interesting and made it very competitive throughout the season. It's been a good season all in all.
Yeah, I second the guys from SGSS Racing. They've been great in the racing. They've been great on the Twitch chats as well. I've certainly missed them this evening, but they've been really good sports.
Right, man. Leader is on the final lap.
So here we go. We might as well ride on board. We're down for the final lap. I think I would second what you said, Matt. The racing has been really good. We've got the lights. Just looking at this race. Got the likes of Peter Ackray in third position. They're almost going to double their entire points this race. Up and down through the field there's been good racing, whether it's been for the higher points or the lower points. But I've got to say I really enjoyed the race at Alton Park.
Yeah.
That I think tested a lot of people. And it was really good for the watch. But I've enjoyed all the races. My first time out in commentating as well. A bit of a baptism of fire, but it's been enjoyable.
That's good.
I do wish I could have raced a couple of these races though, particularly this one. I'd love to have put the gloves on and got stuck in. Well, I don't think
You and me both. Maybe next season we can nominate two other people from one from Big Brain Racing and one from Pseudo Racing to do the commentary.
Okay, well, whoever it is, I vote we don't select Darren Jones. He runs our Twitch stream on a Tuesday and generally is silent in the entire thing, and leaves us in chat to pick up the pieces. But on the flip side, he did just win our championship. So maybe not talking is the secret to get going fast.
Yeah, maybe so.
So here we go then through the chase for the final time. Both our race winner and our championship winner, the car of Darren Jones and Tom Venters in the Pseudo Racing Lamborghini. Congratulations to those guys.
The leader has finished the race.
Congratulations, and putting a lap there on the third place car of Peter Ackray there at the end as well. So great performance all season, and today especially for Darren Jones and Tom Venters.
Well done, to Peter Ackray and Dan Johnson in for this race as well. Great race for those guys. We're currently on board with P2, both in the race and in the championship stand-ins. So this is Morten de Buren and Rainer Athenstadt in the Big Brain Racing Lamborghini. Just coming over the top of the mountain now. Coming over Skyline. So dropping through the, you said this was the S's?
Yep, the S's. Turns 11 through 17, all classed as the S's.
Excellent.
We then come down into turn 18, which is the Dipper. And then the little kink as we go onto the straight is Forest Elbow.
I like a little kink.
Little kink. Everyone likes a little kink.
Yeah,
Some
great.
people like a big kink. Down Conrad Straight.
Oh, so we got some love from Jules Jones, who's Darren's... I don't think you're married, are you? Jules, are you married to Darren? Or are you just keeping him honest? I can't remember, but sending big love to everybody. She's enjoyed watching all the races. Here we go then, as Morten comes across the line.
Yeah, Morten just going around the last corner here. And picks up the P2. Like I say, Peter Ackray and Dan Johnson in P3. Luca Murray, Oscar Miazza in that 306 EOS Esports Racing Porsche in P4. Raymond Camps and Alessandro Murgia in the number 182 Pseudo Racing Lamborghini in P5. Paolo Camasso and Davide Baldo in P6 in the number 46 BMW. And then Ryan O'Sullivan and his absent teammate Damien Konchak tonight in the number 777 Big Brain Racing Lamborghini come now in P7.
So, everyone, congratulations for a great race. Well done to all the competitors. Thank you all on Twitch for joining us. It wouldn't be the same without you. It would literally just be me and Matt talking shit to each other. Which, to be fair, we've done anyway, but we can at least argue that we've done it to the people on Twitch. Matt, any final thoughts?
No, just thank you for everyone racing. If we didn't have anyone racing, it would have been a very boring job for us this season. And thank you to everyone for watching. And obviously check out Pseudo Racing and check out Big Brain Racing for upcoming events. And hope to see you again soon.
Just remind us, Matt, actually, when you guys run your league races.
At the minute, we have a endurance league that's running once a month on a Saturday. Next race of that is next weekend at... Whoa, now I'm thinking. Paul Ricard. 6 hours of Paul Ricard. And then we actually have an interesting event that I think a couple of your guys have signed up to now in December. We're doing 12 days of Christmas, so we're doing a race every day for 12 days, 6 drop rounds, so you don't have to turn up for them all, just a bit of fun really, and 30-minute races. So yeah, that's what we've got coming up.
Excellent. So our league finished last week. We run ours on a Tuesday. Darren Jones was the deserved winner for that one. We've got a week off, and then we start back up. So not the Tuesday coming. That's tomorrow. The Tuesday after. I can't remember where we're at. I was just desperately looking for the flyer that I've created for the league, but we start that week anyway. I'm in Luxembourg, unfortunately, that week, so you get a week off without me. But yeah, head over to Big Brain Racing for their league action. Head over to Pseudo for ours, and we'll see you all again, hopefully, very soon. Say goodbye, Matt.
Bye, Matt.
See you later. Bye-bye.